everybody, welcome back. This is Isaac with Where Are We Going at 2025 Tampa Super RV Show, and I have something really special this time. It's the Noovo Lite by Noovo Vans from Las Vegas. They are here with Maggie, their director of marketing, and superstars Hillary and Bob, the Van Caskies. And if you don't know them, it's time to go to their channel. Their channel is full of fun and entertainment and a lot of useful information. So before any delays, let's start the show.
Hi, I'm Maggie with Noovo, and I'm here today to show you more about our 2024 Noovo Lite camper van. We're here at the Tampa RV Super Show. We're actually camping right outside the show, so something a little bit different for you guys familiar with the space. And this is actually going to be our original model build for Noovo. So this is going to be on a 3500 extended 159 Ram ProMaster chassis. It's a little over 20 feet long, has a width of around 7 feet and a height that gives a little bit over 6'2" when you're inside. Many of you might be familiar with our Noovo Plus model, which has the record-breaking, only found at Noovo 7-foot interior. So this one's going to be a little bit smaller of a layout than what you're used to. Nonetheless, still super excited to get to show you guys what's inside. Just starting with the basics, you're going to have a standard running board to help you get inside. We have this wonderful and very convenient magnetic drop-down table that allows you to have space outside to eat, cook, enjoy being outdoors, which really is what the intention of our models are meant to do. And something that I think is super awesome to point out too is going to be the outlet found underneath, allowing you to plug in, let's say, another cooktop if you want more than the single induction that's found here, or a speaker. I love to charge my electronics out here. And if you find the appropriate seat, I love putting a little camp chair out and working remotely with my Starlink when I have the opportunity to do so. Putting this back up. Entering inside of the van, we're going to find the galley and kitchen space. On the side of these rounded cabinets and cabinetry, which also, by the way, is a Noovo staple. We're very proud and well known to have these gorgeous European rounded corners and finishes throughout the entire van. It's actually my favorite feature of most of our models. You're going to have convenient lighting for the entire front of the van found here on the side of the vehicle. We have a single induction cooktop found on our Corian countertop. You have a very deep sink, which I don't know if you can get a close-up. It's a little dirty because we have people living in this one currently. And that actually comes standard with a UV filtered water faucet, so you don't have to worry about bringing clean drinking water with you on the road anymore. You simply pull it from your freshwater tanks. This vehicle specifically, the Noovo Lite model, has 40-gallon freshwater tanks, 40-gallon gray water tanks, and has a Rixson heating system in it to where you can have hot water on demand wherever you are. Speaking of water, another great thing that we love to use the Rixson heating system for is going to be our indoor shower and wet bath area. This features a cassette toilet system and then of course a removable shower that you can use whenever you please. There is 2 built-in towel hooks for you to keep your towels hanging and dry. And then, of course, we'll have a dome fan light in all of our bathrooms. Let's see if I can turn this on for you. Ta-da! I believe that's the Air Max brand. We also are going to have our Air Max fan system up here. This can blow in or out depending on if you need ventilation or fresh air. And that's meant to complement the Dometic AC system, which is 12 volt. And that will be over the rear of the van where the bed is, and I'll show you that in a second. Going back to the cabinets and storage in this van, something that I think is really surprising for a lot of people when they think about being in a camper van full time is, where am I going to put all of my things? Having this rounded cabinetry actually gives you way more space than what you would initially think. This goes down into the cabinet space, so it's not just to look pleasing. It definitely has function and gives you a little bit more peace of mind when you're driving around that things aren't going to slide out, fly out. This is another outlet so you can charge electronics or plug in your Starlink system directly into the cabinets. That's something that our customers currently really love to do. And then of course, when things do go wrong or you need to make sure that maintenance is everywhere where it needs to be, we have this hidden cabinet for you to access the different water pipes, the heating system, which found underneath this seat right here, and our breaker box, which is in the back of the van. This Noovo model, the Noovo Lite, comes with 660 amp hour lithium battery systems. We build our vans to be 4-season friendly, so that includes the electric system. Lithium batteries are actually very unique as they have very interesting technology. And again, I'm not a tech person, so if you're in the comments and you can explain this to me, I would be super curious. They have a self-heating technology inside of them to where if it drops under a certain temperature in the winter or if you're in colder climates, that will turn on and keep your battery hot to where you don't have to worry about the cold being the reason you can't get where you need to go. We also install DC-DC chargers in all of our vans. So if you turn on your van, you go for a short drive, that's another way for you to charge those lithium batteries. And we have 400 watts of solar on the roof to help you keep your appliances running. We like to tell people that you should think that that's something to keep your fridge on 24/7, kind of keep your appliances on go mode when you're out in dispersed camping or places that you wouldn't be plugged into shore power. With the 660 amp hour battery system, we like to tell people that gives you around 3 days of AC. Again, we use air conditioning as a good way to gauge where we're at with electricity as we're based in Las Vegas. So the desert heat is something that gets brought up as a question quite often. I think that another great feature of having the AC unit in these vans is the placement of them. I'm gonna sit down so you can see, but having the AC unit over the bed area gives you more direct access to that airflow to stay cooler in the summer months, while also creating a really nice path for the air to go from the max air fan to the Dometic. And then of course, when you have the doors open with the bug screens, that's another way that we like to keep things nice and chill in here when you're traveling long term. All of our cabinets and drawer systems are going to have these locking buttons to make sure when they're closed, nothing's going to be moving around when you're driving. Anyone who owns an RV or has spent an extended amount of time inside of a recreational vehicle knows that these things tend to rattle around and be quite loud while you're on the road. Noovo really prides itself in making this as quiet of a ride as we possibly can. So when we build the cabinets and the different pieces that go into these vehicles, we keep that in mind so that you're comfortable even when you're on the move. Most of our cabinets, if not all of them, are going to be very deep, as you can see by how much this is holding right here. This is a full-size pot we have for cooking, a first aid kit that's having no problem fitting inside, and that's not even the deepest of drawers. This will actually be the largest and deepest of the drawers that we have in our kitchen storage system. This would be normally where I would recommend storing your deepest pots and pans, and Hillary's actually using it currently for her overnight bag. So great showcase of how much can fit there. Under the sink, we'll have a very small trash can and access to all of the important maintenance pieces for the sink system. Just for this trip, you can see we also have a coffee maker down here and more water storage while we're at the show. And this might seem silly because how can you have a favorite storage place in a van? But I'm obsessed with our pantry. I think it's so clever. This can fit so much food. It's visually pleasing. And we actually built the size of this based off of one of our co-founders. His family owns a winery in France. So you may see videos of us filling these with wine. I promise Noovo travels with other things too. It's not just used for wine. This can probably fit anything that you would need for cooking. Most of our customers do use this for their food storage, but I've seen people put travel supplies, electronics, really just camping necessities if you're not planning on being on the road for long periods. It's very versatile in what you can fit in there and how you can use it. You're going to find 3 more drawers underneath the pantry, a Vitrafrigo fridge, I don't know if I'm able to open this all the way with where I'm standing, but there's also a little freezer space in here. And then of course, a microwave found right on top of that. Above the entrance of the van is where you're going to find the controls for the entire vehicle. On the right side is going to be everything that is connected to temperature, the hot water furnace, well, the hot water and the furnace, since they're both attached to the Rixson system. I love the system because you have the capability to set the temperature, turn it on, and when you come back to the van, you can be guaranteed that it's going to be at that place. That being said, if it's 120 degrees outside and you set this to 64, there are going to be limitations, but it is really convenient to set it and forget it, is kind of what I like to say, especially when you're traveling, you know, in the fall. I actually had the opportunity to stay in a Noovo Lite outside of Lake Tahoe in September, and I got to learn firsthand why it's so important to know how to use the heater, because if you don't, it's really cold. On the left side, you're going to have your Victron Energy power system. This is going to show you what is basically everything that's going in the van. It has your fresh water tank. It has what energy is coming in, what energy is going out. We're connected to shore power here, so you can see that on the left side. This is your AC load and basically what's being used for, but you can see here, based off of everything that's pulling, and this is also because we're on shore power, we're at 99% battery. So if we weren't plugged into shore and using all the features that we're using currently, they've been parked here for 2 days now. I would estimate that would probably be closer to 70%. Again, they're not really using a lot of the functions in this van. We're spending a lot more time in the show than we are hanging out in here. But in general, the appliances rarely use the amount of energy that you think that they would. The lighting in this van, there are 2 different central lighting systems that we like to use. So we have the ceiling lighting, and then we have the recessed LED lighting that you can find on the dinette side, and then also on the kitchen galley side. I love this recessed lighting in the evening. It makes it so warm and cozy in here, and I really love that you can decide to turn on either or to kind of change what mood you're in and give you more or less lighting depending on the time of day and where you're camping. Our interiors are very light, bright, and open. We really want to bring as much light into here as we possibly can, and that also ties into our windows. All of our Noovo models are going to have Eurovision windows, awning style. So if you would like to use these windows and it's raining outside, the rain will roll off and not be inside of the vehicle with you. They also come with privacy screens, which are clip-on to the other side of the bug screen. And we did get a lot of feedback on that these should be switched around. So if that's something that would be an interest of you buying this van, we are happy to put the privacy screen on the bottom instead of the bug screen. It's all about personal preference and how you're going to use the van. You'll have one window here in the dinette space. There is another large window on the door of the van, which is also awning style. And then a third large window on the bed that you can use for, I like to put my feet that way when I'm staying in the van. But the Van Caskies, you'll see, because of where they're parked, actually had to do it a little backwards for this show when we look at the bed. I love the dinette space in the Noovo Lite because it's cozy. It gives you enough space to where if you wanted to eat or work, it's more than comfortable for 2 people. But if you were to have a guest or need a little extra space for cooking, chopping your vegetables, it does have this adjustable swivel table, which gives you even more table space to be able to cook, eat, play. This is huge when you're using it in real life. We love to use this as a team when we're working remotely, and it is very easy to use. There's a little latch underneath here that you pull open, and then you can spin it either way as much as you please. This table is also super easy to move around, so you can access the built-in storage units there. And then we also have hidden storage in the floor. So I'm gonna switch hands so I don't drop this on my head. People love to use this for their pet supplies, their extra pairs of shoes. It's a small storage space, but it's really convenient for those things that you maybe wouldn't want laying around everywhere when you're setting up camp for full-time travel. So we're not gonna go through the entire process for this video, but this is on a slider, which I don't know if you can see that. You slide the table out. This leg is removable, and then it attaches to the lower slider instead, and this becomes a small twin-size bed. I would not recommend this vehicle for travelers that are intending to travel with 3 people full-time. I think this is much better for solo travelers or couples looking to get into the camper van space. But if you had a guest, there is room to sleep 3 people, and we can put a lap belt as well into the booth seating of the dinette. One feature I love about this specific Noovo Lite is you'll see it has drop-down bug nets on the sliding door and the back door of the van. These allow you to be parked anywhere and not have little buggies getting in here, but still enjoying all of the outdoor space. This specific model has so many different zippers and magnets to where you can open it from the middle, you can open it from the sides. We have additional attachments that you can decide to trade out that have clear vinyl plastic instead of the traditional bug net material. And those are also better in cold weather if you were doing some camping, maybe like fall. I wouldn't recommend them all the way for winter, but I love having this feature and keeping the doors open. So this is a carefree awning system. On the inside, there is a very simple on and off switch and then an extend retract. Something I love about this system is if it starts to get too windy, it will actually retract on its own before any damage is done to the vehicle or to the awning. You have complete control over how far you want this to go out or not go out. You simply let go of the button and it'll stop wherever you tell it to. It's really nice to be hands-free though with something like this. It's going fantastic. As you'll see in the video, a lot of our vehicles, if not all of them, will come standard with window covers. The ones you're being shown specifically have insulation on them. So not only are they going to give you privacy, but they're also going to keep in the air conditioning or the heating, depending on what you're using to stay comfortable while you're in the van. All of our models are going to feature a standard RV queen size mattress. This one has a fixed bed. As I mentioned earlier in the video, normally we would recommend you put your pillows on this side in this little cutout area and your feet by the window, but because this isn't very level of a spot for them to be staying on, they switch things around. The bed is going to have cabinets on both sides, so you'll have dual cabinets at your feet and at your pillow side. It's funny doing it backwards. It's throwing me off a little bit. As well as dedicated lighting, the recessed lighting, which I love, and outlets. So this is the switch for the lighting, by the way. And then you have built-in phone charging outlets, or I guess you could use it USB outlets for anything that you wanted to charge, and your standard outlets that you would find in a home. When looking at a lot of the finishes with Noovo, they're done very intentionally to replicate the feelings that you would get in a real home. Obviously, this is a much smaller space, but everything is done to make you feel that same cozy feeling that when you get back from a long day. Most of our customers spend over 150 days in the van on average. So many of the people who are using these vehicles are truly full-timers, at least in our book. And it takes a lot to make sure a space is comfortable for extended periods of time. Little things like having regular outlets and access to charging points conveniently can make a huge difference after a long day on the road. I'm actually going to duck down here. Another favorite thing about this model is going to be the garage space. There's a tiny little door which separates the living area from the garage. Normally, if there weren't shoes and things, I would crawl through this little door to show you just how much space is in here. Please take my word for it. You can fit so much stuff in this box. Actually, shout out to another YouTube channel, Happy to Be Here. They live in a Noovo Lite full time, and they did a video showcasing pulling out all the stuff that they keep in their van and then repacking it. I felt like I was watching a magic trick, the amount of stuff that they had in the back of the vehicle. I was so impressed. And I think that even this little space, you'll notice there is dedicated lighting back here. So when you need to access your water systems and also your lithium batteries, that's going to be on either side of the vehicle. So I'm just gonna crawl a little in here just to showcase a little bit. I think that having wires and electrical systems that are easy to access and troubleshoot if you ever do have issues arise is such a luxury. And I'm constantly impressed with the way that the team builds out our Victron Energy and Lithionics battery systems. We are there to help you if you have issues arise, but giving you the confidence to be able to find things on your own is a seriously underrated perk of having a well-designed vehicle. Yeah, I was gonna say, you can totally feel free to open that up.
Looks great. Such clean and immaculate job.
It's super interesting. And also, I think one of the coolest part, I love that I'm just sitting in this little door. I'm actually gonna just keep crawling through, I think.
Serious?
Yep, here we go. Oh, here we go. I'm coming out. Ah! I feel like I'm being born or something. Ah! Okay.
This is how much fun we have.
Okay. I keep things interesting here. Wow, what space. No, I completely agree. And actually something that I think is so fun, if you are able to come to our headquarters in Las Vegas and do a manufacturing line tour, in our electric part of the line build, we have a pre-built electrical system of what it would look like in the van if you didn't have this wall here. So it gives customers the chance to really see what the batteries look like, the wiring, how we build it, get hands-on with it and ask questions before we even get to the part where we show you what it looks like once it's finished. It's really important to us to be transparent about the materials that we're using and the way that we're building these vehicles, because we believe that they should last you as long as your adventures do, and hopefully that's forever or until you choose, a new home for yourself. So I always recommend, if you can, come and see the whole process. We love having people at the headquarters and really showing what goes into making these incredible vehicles. Since I'm already back here, I'll point out this is our outdoor shower system. So as I mentioned, all of your water systems and things are going to be housed in here. We have a lot of stuff kind of hiding in here while we do the video. But this is actually where the shower head would normally live. You would attach it via a little tube here and then do whatever you needed with it. This controls if it's hot or cold water, how much is coming out at any given moment. And this has a pretty steady stream on it. Another thing that I didn't mention when we were in the front of the van, the kitchen sink is also detachable, so you can use that as an outdoor shower as well from the front of the van. Really, you've got lots of access to water wherever you go in this vehicle.
What are those panels that I'm seeing? Oh, storage.
Yes, yeah, this is very little storage, it's very small, and I'm not sure if this is standard in all of our units or not. You will notice that with every Noovo that you look at, there might be small touches that you've never seen before. Many of our customers like to make these vehicles their own, even if it is in small ways, like a little side hidden storage area. But this is also, normally you could access the water from here too. So they're always changing things with Noovo. I'm constantly impressed with their ability to follow feedback and make these vehicles better for people. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I know that was a really quick run through on everything in this vehicle. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the Noovo team directly. Our website is noovolife.com. My name is Maggie. Again, you can say I sent you. And I'm so excited to hopefully be meeting some of you soon and sharing more about Noovo in the future. We love this channel and we are so excited to get to work with Isaac in 2025.
Thank you so much, Maggie, and see you on the road.
Bye!